truth and flat out deceive.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Is your sister still gay, or is she bi, or is she straight, or what?
Babe, what are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. I've seen her with girls and I've seen her with guys, so I don't know.
She just broke up with her girlfriend. That should give you your answer.
Yeah, she's still kind of sad about that, huh?
Well, yeah, she's devastated. Why?
Well, because the FDA just approved new medication for lesbians with depression.
Don't. Just don't.
It's called Tricoxagen.
Oh my God! Yes, she's gonna be happy! She's gonna be happy!
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Friday, second round on the PGA Championship. Off the first tee this morning at 8:28, you've got Ian Poulter. Later on in the afternoon, 12:52, Paul Casey, and 1:03, Ricky Fowler and Adam Scott. At 1:25 p.m., Zach Johnson, while 1:47 has Lee Westwood and Xander Schauffele. At 1:58, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Brooks Koepka. And at 2:09, Colin Morikawa, Bryson DeChambeau, and Hideki Matsuyama. Over on the 10th tee this morning, Tony Finau got it going at 7:38 a.m., while Phil Mickelson, Jason Day, and Patrick Harrington teed off at 7:49. At 8 a.m., Tommy Fleetwood, Jon Rahm, and Patrick Reed, with Steve Stricker, Billy Horschel at 8:22 a.m. Webb Simpson, Jordan Spieth, they tee off at 8:33, followed by Dustin Johnson and Sergio Garcia, Shane Lowry at 8:44. At 8:55, Matt Kuchar. 1:09, John Daly and Jimmy Walker. 1:31, you've got Bubba Watson. And finishing up the day, 2:04, Kevin Na and Tom Lewis, with the final pairing going at 2:37. The final regular season of college baseball gets going this weekend. 6:30 Eastern in the ACC. Number 16 Florida State is at number 23 North Carolina State. Well, at 6 p.m., it's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Virginia Tech. In the SEC, we've got a bunch of great battles. 7 o'clock, Ole Miss is at the Georgia Bulldogs. The Rebels are number 13 in the land. Number 4, Tennessee at the number 21 South Carolina Gamecocks. And also at 7 o'clock, you've got Mississippi State at Alabama. At 7:30, the Kentucky Wildcats are at the number 3 Vanderbilt Commodores. And at 8 o'clock on the SEC Network, the Florida Gators are at the number 1 Arkansas Razorbacks. Elsewhere around the country, at 9 o'clock tonight out in the Pac-12, the number 15 Stanford Cardinal is at number 6 Oregon Ducks. Maryland is at number 24 Michigan at 5 o'clock. Cal's at UCLA at 9. The Bruins, 18th in the country, and the 25th ranked Arizona State Sun Devils are at the Men of Troy in Southern California. Major League Baseball this weekend, you got a lot of great matchups beginning at 7:05 with the Red Sox at the Phillies. That goes side by side with the Chicago White Sox at the New York Yankees. And at 7:20, Pittsburgh is at Atlanta. Ian Anderson up against Tyler Anderson on the mound. The Rays are at the Blue Jays. Tyler Glasnow takes the hill. And at 8:15, it's one of the best rivalries in all of baseball. The Chicago Cubs are at the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Hendricks gets the nod. Other fun series matching up this weekend, you got the Mets and Marlins, Battle for Texas, Astros and Rangers, A's and Angels, and finally, we're getting the Dodgers at the Giants. The Cubs and Cardinals are the Sunday night ESPN Game of the Week. Tonight on the ice, Capitals are the Bruins at 6:30 on NBC Sports Network. At 7 o'clock, it's the Canes at the Predators in Nashville for game number 3. Jets and Oilers, 9 o'clock NBC Sports Network. And the Avs and Blues on USA to end your hockey night. We have another playing game tonight in the NBA, and then tomorrow, Heats and Bucks at 2, Mavs and Clippers at 4:30, Celtics and Nets at 8 o'clock on ABC, and at 10:30, it's the Trailblazers at the Nuggets. The Sunday slate has the Hawks and Knicks, the best one of the group. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing. My gag reflexes are thankful for plumbers today. They're some of the most undervalued and underappreciated professionals until you need one. Thank a plumber if you see one today. I know my household will.
I don't know how to react to that. I am Mac McGee. I don't know much, but I know one thing. The Pirates, really? The Pirates? What is this, 1991? Might as well be the way we run the bases. It might as well be Sid Bream sliding around out there. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Did you say something? Would you call me?
I didn't call you anything.
Oh, you didn't call me anything? So now you guys are messing with me?
No, we're not doing anything.
I mean, you want to go? I'll go right now.
You saying you fight me?
Anytime.
I'm not gonna fight you.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh, and one other thing. I'm off right now, so I'll be waiting outside in the parking lot where I'm gonna gut you like a deer.
That was bone chilling.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac McGee sitting alongside Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you today, sir?
Crappy, if my intro didn't allude to it.
Literally.
Oh man, adulting sucks. Let's just get that out of the way. And that's why we have sports, so we can check out from life and enjoy the finer things called entertainment.
Well, I'm hoping it's not something that's like major overhaul. Is it something just minor that they're going to take care of? Or is there like something constructually?
Oh no, it's minor. It's just inconvenience at this point, and just personal overcoming. If you wait on someone to fix it or do it yourself at this point is the decision. I've fixed this twice in the past, and I swore I'd never do it again. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll move on from that because we don't want to dump all over your Friday morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be the joke that keeps on giving today. NHL playoffs. I'm saying that right now it's a do or die situation, right? For the Preds. They've got to get a W, I would think, tonight, because any chance of making this a series, you go down 3-0, it's going to be a wrap. Now, first of all, are you going to this game?
I am not.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were planning on going to these playoff games.
I plan on being downtown tonight, but it's going to be to see the Gwinnett Stripers and Mr. Drew Waters.
That's pretty cool, man. So the Braves are going to be in town or the Braves minor league is going to be in town.
They've been in since Tuesday. They have had a long week series. I don't remember the Gwinnett Stripers rolling through. I don't know if this is just a casualty or realignment due to post-COVID and trying to get rolling in, but maybe I've just overlooked it. But very excited to see it, especially considering what we're seeing with Pache out in center field. It's always next man up. When you see some exciting things like we've seen out of him, we'll talk about later in Braves country. It's just exciting. So if we head back to the Preds though, and not to just steamroll past that, trying to not be a Nancy, but man, it's over. I don't know that you pick up a victory here at home. I don't know that you have the tools on this roster to take out Carolina Hurricanes. They missed the opportunity in game 2. It was a one goal game that UC Soros played out of his mind to keep them in this game. They had 7 power plays, and when the Preds were on power plays, the Hurricanes looked better at a man disadvantage. You cannot get steamrolled like that. They imposed their will all over that ice, and it's happened season long. I've alluded to, you've heard me say it many times, the Hurricanes are just the kryptonite of the Predators. Whatever it is about this roster, the way that it is built, they mentally have been in this Nashville's head for the past 3 seasons.
From what I saw of it, and of course, I'm not the hockey expert that you are, but it just seems like they don't have the firepower, and they can't put enough stress on the goaltender like the way Carolina is doing to Nashville, and eventually the dam's going to break. Saros is playing well, but it's kind of like that pitcher who's pitching a really good game, and you're like, can I get some run support at some point? I can't just keep these guys. I can't keep the 27 Yankees from scoring 17 consecutive innings. Someone's got to get in here. And so that's the issue. What I'm hoping for, just because I want to see him win a game, especially at home in the series, to give the fans something to be happy about. What I would like to see tonight is like the little things, the little breaks go their way and they get a lead. And so if you get the series at 2-1, you never know, because we've seen stranger things in hockey where all of a sudden it's not necessarily what you're doing, it's inside their head that are we going to blow this, right? So that's honestly what I'm hoping for. Did you get a chance, by the way, to see the Florida Tampa Bay game last night? Holy crap.
I bounced back and forth. I was tuned into the Canadians Maple Leafs, but I checked out, unfortunately. So to your question, no, I missed it. When I saw it was 5-2 at that point, after Tampa Bay had the 5 goals in the second period, I was like, okay, well, this is ugly. And then hour and a half later, I'm like 6-5. Florida came back. So no, regrettingly, I did not see it.
It was insane. So you know how I do. I usually have 2 or 3 games streaming at a time on different devices. And I kept it on that game, mainly because I was too damn lazy to get up and change because I always keep that remote like over the mantle. Anyways, you actually get up to change it as opposed to just being able to shoot it. It's a long story why, because I have the box block so it doesn't pick up other times when you finagle with the remote. So I was thinking about changing it, and then all of a sudden it was 5-3 going into the third. I was like, I'll leave it up. I was like, what if? And then all of a sudden Florida came roaring back. I was like, holy crap. So I'm watching that in the Braves game at the same time, along with I was also keeping an eye on the Penza Isles game. Damn it, we almost got that one. That one really pissed me off. That pissed me off more than the Braves did last night. And so man, when it goes to overtime and they come back, and there's all kinds of people on my timeline that are commenting because I'm friends with both Tampa and Florida fans, obviously living down here. And so I see them going back and forth, and some of them are getting into it, giving each other a hard time. It was great stuff. In fact, Brian, who watches the show very regularly, he'd all but given up when it went 5-2, Justin. He basically, I think he tweeted out something like, put a fork in this team, it's done. And then an hour later, he said something to the effect of, can I take back my last tweet?
We back.
Exactly. Great game. Tonight, we do have the Predators playing. That game is 7:00 Eastern. That is an early start. I like it. I like that a lot. So we get 7 Eastern. Caps Bruins is 6:30 Eastern. That's the other game that I'm excited to to watch. I want to see that one go 7 because I feel like that there's going to be some bloodshed in Boston, Washington, if that game can go 7. Now it's game 3. Boston has a 2-1 advantage, and it's in Boston. That's kind of I'm not going to say because hockey's a little different than other sports, but it feels like it's a desperation game for Washington, doesn't it? Are you still there? Well, I guess we lost Justin for a second. I'm sure he'll be popping back in here in 1 second. So we'll go ahead and take a really quick break, and Justin will be back here in 1 second here with us. I think he lost his feed. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. We'll be back in about 60 seconds to reset.
Take the road less traveled in the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe. With available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you get off the beaten path a little further together. And intuitive safety features that can help you see what's waiting around the bend. Plus, with generous room for 5 and comfortable available Napa leather seating, you can go for more drives as a family without driving each other crazy. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back, and Justin's back. His camera's getting focused back in, and I didn't know if the crap had hit the fan at your house. I didn't know if that's what it caused the outage.
Pretty much. No, man, you let these kids out of school one day and they suck down all the bandwidth in the neighborhood. I have no idea.
I thought maybe the plumber had to turn something off and he turned off your routers.
Oh no, we're still on call, buddy. We're waiting to get worked in, but I did find a nice gentleman that gave me a temporary makeshift fix last night. So we have working restrooms in the house, but we just gotta be creative.
Fair enough. We'll move on. We were essentially putting a bow on the NHL playoffs, and all I was saying is we lost you was that looking forward to the Caps Bruins tonight, and it feels like this is almost a must win for the Caps. Although I guess what I'm getting at in other sports, if you're down 2-1 and you lose game 4, it's almost like it's over. But in hockey, it doesn't have quite that same feel because you end up with them going back and forth with the ice. And I always feel like even though they get energized by the crowd, it's not that sport is so fast. They get locked in. You can't tell me that a hockey player is that worried about what some guy's yelling at to him in the 5th row. Right. It's a little different if you're going up to the plate and, someone's heckling you. That might get in your head. You're moving so damn fast in hockey. That just isn't going to mess with you at all. As good as Washington is, don't you feel like that this is a must-win game, though, because they'd have to win 3 in a row against Boston?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be at the bottom of that hill having to win out. I think this one will get evened up. I have no doubt this will at least go 6, possibly 7. I think this will be the long series, probably out of most of these matchups. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it will be physical tonight. I know you're going to get Tom Wilson haters probably going to see a lot of Wilson tonight and probably irritate that a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of them just pesky nights and try and get under their skin, try and get the Bruins in the box, and Washington's just going to try and pile on the goals because no lead's safe when you're and when you're with that elite of an offense on both sides. Nothing is safe. So 5 or 6, as you've seen in the Tampa Bay, Florida, when you get to playoff season, those can be achieved by almost any offense with the exception of Nashville.
I've got a question for you as a not much of a basketball fan, but you do live in the state of Tennessee. Is there any buzz about Memphis doing a play-in game tonight, 9:00 Eastern, that you're aware of?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I mean, my son has mentioned it, but that was about it. He had hopes of somehow Memphis lining up against Golden State, and I was like, all right, cool. I could be interested in that, but I don't even know if that's in the works to.
Yeah, that's who they're playing. Golden State lost to the Lakers a couple of nights ago, which put the Lakers in the playoffs at the 7 seed. So what they're doing now, Memphis and Golden State, it's a 1-game play-in to be the 8th seed, which I don't know if that's a prize or not, because you win and you're going to play a very good Utah team, but at least it extends your season. It should be a fun one. Memphis and Golden State are two darn good basketball teams, both teams with winning records. It's not like my fear was where we're going to get a couple of just really dreads, playing. Because like last night's game, I couldn't have cared less about Washington versus Indiana.
Where is this game?
That game is
out west or in Memphis?
Yeah, it's out west, which is, I still think they're screwing up by waiting until 9:00 Eastern. I know it's a Friday night. I think you get that thing going at 8. It's 5:00 out west. If you're going to that game, you're not going to have an issue getting off work, right? And I'm just telling you from someone who lived very short time period, but I lived in San Diego for a very short time period. Most people get off work out west between 3 and 4 p.m. So if you need to go to a 5:00 game, you can make it happen. It's just, I just think they're screwing up.
When are these teams going to get smart and get with the times of 2021, 2022 looming around the corner? And in the day and age of cord cutting, it's a shame that as many people that stream their live TV and their sports nowadays, not a lot of them have regional sports access. You've either got to go with something like NBA TV. Well, you would have a blackout restriction here in Tennessee, most likely. So you run into the same problem. There's no way to watch the product. And it's always been that way here in Tennessee. The Grizzlies, I don't feel like ever get marketed efficiently. I would like to be into them. I think they're unique just because, and this is really silly, but their floor just blows me away because their hardwood is laid opposite direction of every other team in the league. And for some reason, it just draws me. And once I made notice of it, I can't unsee it. And I don't know, it's a really weird reason to like a team, but I don't know. I like it. It's unique.
And here's the thing. I'm going to watch the tail end of it tonight because, I think a lot of people are going to be like that. It's going to affect their ratings because you're going to wait till 9:00 to start this game. Well, I'm going to be in the third period of the Nashville game, third period of the Boston Washington game. I'll be locked into those. When those games end, then I'll flip over to the NBA game and see, is it close? Is it worth watching? Right. Because by the time they finish up, it'll be about halftime of the NBA game. So, and I don't know. I doubt that's why they were doing it. I doubt that's because the NBA is so arrogant. I doubt that they think that they have to compete against, the NHL or MLB or whatever. But it's going to affect your ratings when you have Carolina versus Nashville, Memphis, and you've got Washington versus Boston, which is I-95. It's where you want your television ratings at. It's going to affect. I just think it's odd.
I would just like to see the teams. I mean, we can see the playoff games. I would like to see regular season and these teams take more of an effort to, offer us some a la carte. I mean, let me buy a stream per game. If you can't make some sort of regional package with these large streaming companies, other than the mega satellite or cable companies that everybody's wanting to step away from, offer us a solution other than an entire year-long package to be like, hey, $2, $5, whatever it is per view per game, I would pay that.
Do you currently, with whatever streaming package you have, do you currently get local Fox Sports, Bally Sports, South/Tennessee?
None.
Yeah. I don't get Florida either. I don't know how the hell you get Bally Sports Florida, but I'm not blaming Bally Sports because I was in the same boat when it was Fox Sports. I'm hoping Bally's going to change the direction, and by football season, or at least maybe by sometime this summer, we start getting these, because I want to have it, because come football season, Bally Sports / Fox Sports has a lot of football on it. And I think it was 2 or 3 games last year that Florida State ended up on, and I had to have weird ways of trying to watch it, and it was just a pain. It wasn't fun by any stretch of the imagination. I currently like YouTube TV, but I'm not going to stick with it if they're not going to have Bally Sports.
That's what took me away from it when I lost the locals. I had to look, and I couldn't find a streaming that offered the sports that could have that. That's why I'd like to see one of these, and maybe Bally can be the one and offer that up where we can, hey, let me purchase it straight from you a la carte. I'll go to your app. I'll download it. I'll go to your website. Let me pay-per-view what I want to watch from you, since I can't find a way other than going through a long contract with a cable company that I prefer not to do.
Right, exactly. Julio Jones. Want to make sure that we get into this before we have to head out. Julio Jones made a comment. The short of it is he named the New England Patriots as a possible trade partner. I don't know why he's commenting on this. I don't know why, this is normally something that the front offices deal with. So it makes you wonder what kind of headache Julio Jones may be, although I've never heard anything bad about him as a teammate or as a I guess employee is a weird thing to call it, but you are a
as a fantasy owner, he doesn't get the end zone enough, but what
maybe that'll change if he goes elsewhere. I'm trying to see, but anyways, the June 1st is the date that we're waiting on. What is that? 10 days from now? Man, that would be a scary thing, him going to the Patriots. You texted me yesterday about it. You said Johnny Smith, Julio Jones. I think people are forgetting how many tight ends that they signed in the offseason. So they're already loaded. They've already got the kid from Arizona State a couple of years back, Harry. And things are opening up where I think Mac Jones could be set up for some big time success early on.
Just think if they got creative and put Cam Newton in the backfield.
Wow. I mean, he also mentioned the Chargers as well. Or let me put it this way, the Chargers have been heavily hinted. That would be an exciting thing to put him up with Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. I think for the sake of everyone's sanity, everyone wants him to go to some team like the Chargers or whatever. They don't want him. Are you hearing any more about him possibly coming to Nashville, or is that a flash in the pan?
I mean, there's been some social media grumblings, Derrick Henry's kind of put his stamp of approval on it. But, again, you go like, what are players really doing? The lobbying for friends to come here, or it's a great place. But when you really think about it, I mean, would that really be in the best interest of Arthur Smith? Hey, I want to get rid of this guy that I don't think can make our team better, but I'm going to trade to my buddies back here in Nashville, but they think they can really make their team better. I mean, that just doesn't really seem like a smart move to make right out of the gate. But hey, who knows? I would think if there would have been a trade deal with the draft or some sort of, maybe there was trust there, maybe that could have been a partnership between Atlanta and Tennessee. But since there was no move up or contingencies in the draft to where, hey, we'll trade spots and pick to be determined later. We see a lot of deals made that can't be official till later dates. We didn't see that in this draft, so I don't think Tennessee's really a player in this, because
which means that I'm even more down on what they've done this offseason. That's the only way that this changes my perception, is if Julio gets traded to Tennessee, then I say, hey, look at this, look what they've added. If he doesn't, you're saying, what the hell are we going to do about a number 2 receiver, et cetera, right? Because you can't lean on rookies that heavily. We haven't really seen Brown be the guy when there's not someone who's legitimate threat on the other side. Because now that Davis is gone, you can put all your focus on him. But we got to get moving. What is your picks, or your pick for the against the spread?
I'm gonna let you go first. I don't have mine pulled up, sir.
Fair enough. 9:45 tonight. I'm a little surprised it's only at a -133. Trevor Bauer is on the mound against Alex Wood against the Giants. I'm looking forward to this series. I'm just not buying that the freaking Giants are going to be able to get anything going off of Trevor Bauer. So I say take Trevor Bauer and the Dodgers at just a -133. I would have thought that would have been at least a -175 bare minimum. So I think it's good value. You still need a couple minutes or?
No, I'm going to take, I like Boston at Philly. I'm going to take Boston +135 on the money line. It is Perez against Nola. But, you know, Philly gets the nod there, but Boston's been playing hot. And, man, we've seen Segura and Girardi fighting in the dugout last week. I mean, there's a little bit of turmoil in this Phillies roster.
And their bullpen doesn't seem to be fixed like they thought it had been. I'll tell you something else. When you look at the run line +1.5, it's only at a -155 is what I'm showing, and that's pretty low for a plus. I get it. Nola's a phenomenal pitcher, but I kind of like that play. I might end up hitting that up later. What is your walk off for the weekend, sir?
Oh man, gonna be a great time in Broadway tonight. Everybody be safe, have fun.
Broadway, you going to a show? Guys in Dallas?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing downtown. Might be doing some of that McGee dancing later, you know, never know. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting eyes on Drew Waters tonight. Just want to make mention of that. We didn't get to bring it up, man. Pache doesn't start hitting. You got to put him down and bring Drew up. I'm sorry. I watched that kid hit his first 2 home runs, saw the video of it. Both
I'll
sides.
tell you what, Heredia is playing phenomenally. I think they should leave Pache down. You know, he's going to come off the IL and dude, he sucks. I'm sorry, but he sucks. Defense. If this was like football where you only had them play defense, yeah, he's a phenomenal defender. He sucks, man.
You gotta have a bat out of your center fielder. I'm sorry.
He's got to prove exactly, and Heredia at least gives you some leeway. You know, I'm with you, dude. I said this yesterday on Braves Country. I was expecting 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. Anything less is going to be a letdown. So now they got to sweep the weekend, or I'm gonna be if we split or worse against Pittsburgh. I mean, this is going to be a long summer if they don't get
Maybe we can trade Ozuna's contract to a contender.
Yeah, and by the way, top of the lineup, don't be scared to look at a pitcher too. Dude, I'm going to get into that in Braves Country today, but it is time to move Riley up the freaking ladder. Ozzie Albies sucks. He cannot be a number 4 hitter. He has got to be down the bottom of the lineup. He swings at everything. If it's anywhere close to the plate, he swings at, and the pitchers know this now.
Put him in front of the pitcher. That way you sit in ambush because they're going to try and pitch around him and try and get to the pitcher. So you got a speedster on the base, or he gets lucky and gets what he's sitting on.
What was the guy's name from Major League? The Wesley Snipe character.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes. Start Willie Mays Hayes in him. Every time you hit the ball in the air, I want to see push-ups because it's ridiculous.
That's right. 2
nights ago, we had a runner on first, nobody out, or sorry, 1 out. Ozuna and Albies comes up, and a guy who just walked Freddie Freeman on 4 consecutive pitches. They had a 2-0 count on Acuna, and Acuna swung at a bad slider. So basically 6 of the 7 pitches were outside the strike zone. They come up, Ozuna and Albies swing at the first damn pitch. The only thing I'll say about Ozuna, he's starting to hit the ball harder. Albies is just flicking his wrist. All right, brother.
I was gonna say that's before he got on your fantasy roster.
Well, I was in. Trout got hurt, and I was like, I've got to get an outfielder. So I sent out trades to everybody. You were the first one to accept, and I'm always like, look, whoever accepts first is who I take. I don't play that game where
Hey, that was a fair one. You don't see a lot of those. I'll take that any day.
No, I thought it was
fair one. I'm good. That was straight up. I'll take it.
When Ozuna heats up, it'll be fine. But yeah, I think for the most part, you got the better of the trade. But man, Trout's out for at least 6 weeks. I'm like, I can't sit here and have freaking I mean, I'm going to be picking up Pache if I didn't make a trade. All right, brother. We'll see you Monday.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And it's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays. Drive time? Find the Armchair Quarterback Show on Facebook today.
Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. We cover the whole SEC all season long.
First and goal. Franks. Jump pass. Hello, Tebow. From going deep. High arcing shot. It is hauled in. Terry Godwin. And he stays up. Godwin dances into the end zone. 75 yards. Tagovailoa flushed out of the pocket. He'll run with it. He's got the first down and more. Still on the run. He is gone. Touchdown, Alabama. Second down and 10. Garantano over the middle. Ty Chandler. It's a race to the end zone, and he wins it. 42 yards. Touchdown, Tennessee. What a great.
This is
Armchair.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
Good morning.
You're setting me up.
Sorry, I was trying to do like 9 things at once. I can't be a dancer, producer, extraordinaire all at the same time.
Well, not well.
Well, we'll just see come early September what all I can do.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'm looking forward to our trip up there to Music City, by the way.
Yeah, man.
I've got I returned the original one. I'm getting a new one. I didn't read the disclaimer of a draft board that I ordered. Okay. So we're going to do the draft old school. We're going to have a board, stickers, the whole 9 yards. They actually make these things now. We used to do it like, I think we're writing on cardboard back in the day, weren't we? This one's going to have the player sticker. You're going to put it on there, and then I'll enter it into the computer as we go. So I look at it. I get it out of the box. I noticed it didn't say 2021, but what I was hoping is that it was last year's. And then I was like, so all I'm really going to miss is this year's rookie class, which they give you extra stickers to write on, right? Dude, I opened it up. First of all, they jammed it in there. I mean, that thing was beat all to hell. I was already like, what the hell? And then I start looking at names. Andrew Luck, Devin White. And I was like, what in the hell am I looking at here? It was the 2019 draft board. And that was 2019 was being generous. I think it was actually 2018. I think it was the 2018 players. They were calling it 2019 because they had sold it on a January, right? But the players were from 2018. I was like,
right,
this ain't gonna work, man. We can't have everybody written down. So I've got a new one coming. I was trying to save a few bucks, and now I see why. Not only is it old, but it has been jammed all to hell. I mean, I would have even took it if they just would have updated some stickers and said, you know what, to hell with it. Let's just get rid of this board. Let's update the stickers, and away we go, right? No. All right.
No, that'd be fun, man. I'm looking for live drafts are a lot of fun. We try to do live drafts like over the phone, online, and all that jazz. But it's in person is the best way to do it, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's the first one I will have done in a long, long time in that fashion. Not like, because we've done some live ones where most of us are sitting in the same room, but not every participant. This one, every participant's going to be in that room.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
And so if we do have to have a couple, we're going to force them to be on Skype or Zoom or whatever, and they're going to have to make the pick. But that'll be tough for someone having to do that because they're only going to see a room essentially, right? And we're going to be out there talking and shooting the bull and everything. And so I'm going to try to get it to where every single person will be in that room, because that's what I loved about fantasy football. And when we first started talking about doing this last year, me and my wife going up to Nashville, because I said, yes, you know what I miss is really, this is right after we did the draft. I said, I miss being in the same room with the people that I'm drafting with. I said, that was the fun of it.
Right.
And of course, the pandemic last year, none of us met in the same room. We all just Zoomed it.
Right.
And so we got to talk, and she said, why don't you do one up in Nashville? I was like, you want to go to Nashville for a freaking fantasy football draft? And she's like, well, no, we'll go up there for the weekend and we'll do other things. I said, all right, then I can deal with that. Plus that night, Florida State Notre Dame will be playing. So that'll be a lot of fun too, for at least a quarter or so. Till I go, oh my God, it's the same team. I actually have some higher hopes for FSU this year. They got the new quarterback, and he's looked pretty good, and I think he can at least keep us respectable and not just an absolute boat race every single game. So I'm hoping that'll be good. So are you does the PGA Championship interest you at all?
DraftKings wise, yes, it does.
Okay. Are you going day by day?
It's a 4-day tournament. I mean, honestly,
Okay.
like, I forgot I had until late afternoon yesterday. I'm winning a couple of bucks right now. I'll watch some more probably Sunday late afternoon that end up what I do, because that's when I have the most time to do anything is late Sundays. So I'll dive into it more on Sunday.
I'm going to try to join one for tomorrow's round. It's too late to do it for today's, obviously, because they're rocking and rolling already. The leaderboard right now, let me pull that up and get it up to date. The leaderboard, Brandon Grace, Cameron Davis, and Keegan Bradley, along with Victor Hovland, are all 3 under par. Brooks Koepka 3 under par, and Wise 3 under par. So the leader's already crapped the bed. I can't even remember his name, and he's already there. He is, Connors. He is already 4 over through 6. So bye Canada boy, you gone.
Yeah, Victor is my guy.
As Tony was talking about on the early Friday morning show, Gators and Golf, he basically was making a joke about Connors being, well, he's probably the 3rd best golfer to come out of Canada. And I forget who the first person he mentioned. It was a legitimate golfer, and he was stumbling on the other one. I said, is it Michael J. Fox? Like, I don't know any Canadian golfers. Like, I
think Answer is a Canadian golfer.
Who is?
Answer, ANCER.
I'll take your word for it. I mean, I'm sure if I scroll through these 155 names, I'll find the Canadian flag and we'll put it on there. But
actually, no, I don't even know. I think that's the Italian flag. So never mind. Discredit anything I say about Canadian golf.
I would discredit anything you say about anything if you confuse the Canadian and the Italian flag. They look nothing alike.
my screen is that small, so discredit me anyway.
Fair enough. I only see one Canadian flag as I scroll up and down on the leaderboard, which is how they do it in on the ESPN leaderboard. They make sure that you know what country they're from. So I guess ESPN does a great job of making sure that we're divided on a lot of issues, including our Canadian golf. Mackenzie Hughes, who tees off here in a little bit. Evidently he's from Canada, but anyways, I'm interested if Brooks Koepka stays in it. I'm interested if we get some bigger names, but I hate to spoil the traditional golfer's bubble. If it is like at the end of if we go into Sunday and it's Brandon Grace versus Cameron Davis, whatever, dude. there's too much other stuff to watch at this point, right? Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
there'll be some names up there, man. Like I said,
But if it's big names, if it's Koepka, if it's Rahm, if it's Justin Thomas, that kind of thing, then because then you're adding to someone's legacy, right? Nothing against any of these no-namers. Someone's you have to win your first one at some point. But
right.
I don't want to be the witness to your first major if I've never heard of you. I'll reach you on down the road. So that's just the way I've always been about golf. If it's someone that I really don't know, and especially I have no backstory for them, I just can't get into it. I'm hoping that we get some big names. I mean, even Ricky Fowler is hanging in there. I would like to see some bigger names have, like, 4 wide going down the stretch on the back 9, and they're all just. Phil Mickelson would be a great story. So, anyways, let's move on to the NBA playoffs. So, the more we talk about golf, the more people are going to realize we don't know what the hell we're talking about. So, let's get into the NBA playoffs. Tonight is a win and you're in. I know you have been on the Golden State parade bandwagon, wherever you want to call it. You've been rooting them on. They're playing Memphis, Tennessee tonight. Are you still pulling for Golden State?
I pulled for them in the last game of the season. I'm pulling for them all playoffs. So yeah,
you're anti-Tennessee today. You're pro Golden State.
I'm pro Golden State. It's just I've been rooting for them for years. I mean, I cursed them so bad the last year. I feel like I need to stick with them to try to stay with them. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. The Lakers game was great the other night. I don't know if you caught any of that game, but it was.
I saw the highlights the next morning. It just stays on too late. And I eventually have to cut it off, man, because this tax season has kicked my ass. I'm not going to lie. So I'm working several hours every day on it's from home, but it's fielding calls, helping people with their tax situations. And then I'm doing the show. I'm doing several shows at this point because we do the Monday through Friday show, but I'm also doing Braves Country every day. And then Saturdays we've added a fantasy baseball analytics show, and we added the Chicago baseball show that just started. And then starting 2 weeks from today, we're going to be doing the Yankees Red Sox vodcast. Okay. So I've got a lot on my plate, and Wake Up Nation's coming back next Saturday. So that's the one I'm assuming I'm going to get a shadow banned for, but we have a totally different YouTube channel for that reason, because I got a funny feeling there's going to be some dander up because we've gotten quite a few more followers on Wake Up Nation over the last couple of months, and we haven't even put anything out. So I've been pleasantly surprised by the reaction from Wake Up Nation. So that's coming out, and I'm having an issue of getting people on there to do it with me, Matt, because they're fearful for their jobs, because some of them work in certain positions where if it's found out that they are not sheep, they could get fired. I'm not going to ask them to do that. So
that sounds like an after dark show.
It's going to be something, man. I've got some topics, and I'm going to rattle them off. And I haven't even decided if I'm going to put my face on. I might just put a picture. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But anyways,
anyway, it was a good game. It was good. Like CJ McCollum said, like I said, obviously you read some of his tweets making fun of LeBron, but the last tweet he had was, "This was a good game day for the NBA." And that was a fun NBA game to watch. One of the most fun I've had watching an NBA game this year, or definitely last year.
And I was actually wanting them to win because I feel like Phoenix is going to be a problem for the Lakers. I also am pulling for CP3.
Right.
So I guess selfishly, I didn't want to watch 2 series. I only want to watch the Lakers Suns in the West. I didn't want to watch Jazz, Lakers, and Suns, whoever they ended up playing, right? So that's, if it would have been Golden State versus the Suns, I'm torn because I like the underdog story of Stephen and Draymond doing it all themselves essentially. So it was kind of selfish to the fact that I didn't want to. I don't want to watch 2 NBA series out west. I don't even know if I'll watch one out east. I'm gonna watch the Suns and Lakers, and I'm gonna keep up with the Celtics Nets. But I haven't. Don't you just feel like this is gonna be just an ass whipping?
I'll have it on in the background, but I'll watch the home Celtic games. But I'm kind of like you on the court. It just makes me sad, and the Celtics just make me sad. So I don't really want to watch the Celtics play at Brooklyn.
And it just adds to the fact that it's going to be up against Kyrie and all this stuff. And, he's going to try to play the victim when he's the one that caused all the mess. If Kyrie would have just been normal, not a weirdo like he is, the Celtics would have a hell of a team right now. But I'm hoping he implodes and does his thing. Was he said earlier in the week? Basketball is just not the most important thing to me right now. I would laugh my ass off if like an hour before tip off, he just vanishes again and needs some me time during the playoffs.
Oh, I don't have them winning at all. I mean, because of that situation, I don't think Harden's a champion. I think Kyrie is wacko.
Man, I am actually impressed by what Harden has done, and KD. They got to find a way to get rid of Kyrie.
And that's fine. Harden is good. He's just not a champion, like literally.
Not yet, but I'll tell you what, man. I've watched some Nets games because I follow the New York radio, and so they've been talking about. So I was like, you know what? I'll catch a little bit of it. I'm much more impressed with him and KD, which is what they should have kept together at OKC. I'm impressed by them, and if they could use Kyrie's salary to bring in someone worth a crap, that would be phenomenal. I don't think
like a Westbrook.
What's that?
I said like a Westbrook.
Yeah. No. Like a CP3. CP3, to be honest with you. I mean, they should have never broken. Stupid. So dumb. They picked what was the center's name that they picked over Harden to keep together? It was Westbrook, KD, and Harden, and then there was the fourth guy, the center, and they picked the center. They sent Harden to Houston.
Serge Ibaka.
Ibaka, yeah. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, he got a ring.
Just as it was him. Just as the sport was going to small ball, they traded away arguably one of the best scorers of all time. Great move, OKC. Anyways,
I will have a little bit. I will not watch any Bucks Heat. I won't watch any Sixers.
Terrible.
I won't watch any Sixers.
What about Clippers Mavs? Is that intriguing?
Not at all.
No. You know what I hate about it is I want to pull for Dallas, but man, Mark Cuban is a puke.
Yeah.
Every time I was like, I can just look past Cuban. And he says something stupid, even dumber than before. Why is this only showing? Oh, I get it, because the game tonight hasn't been completed. I'm gonna watch Lakers Phoenix Sunday at 3:30. I'm planning on that. May not be the whole game, but I hope to tune into the fourth quarter, and I hope it's close. Knicks Hawks. Are you intrigued by that? Because I am.
I'm intrigued by that just because I've always had a soft spot for Atlanta, and New York's playing fun. I've watched a lot of New York Knicks basketball this year. They've been kind of fun to watch. So I've been.
So I'm torn. It's a double-edged sword. The Knicks are a great story, but if the Knicks do really well, their ratings are going to go up. And I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the NBA ratings to go up, because it would just go to show you how terribly stupid that was last year to do what they did. Right.
Right.
I feel like I should be pulling for Atlanta. I've just never liked the Hawks. I don't like their logo. I don't like, it goes back to Dominique Wilkins versus Larry Bird. And I was always a Wilkins fan. There's something about the Hawks I just can't get behind. I don't know what it is, but whenever I see their jersey, their logo, I'm like, stupid Hawks. I don't like them. I don't know what it is. So I have a hard
think-
time pulling for
I
the
think
Hawks,
the Knicks could beat Philly, so I
which
think
is
that would
so
be.
dumb because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. But I can't get behind them. I don't know what it is. You think the Hawks can do what?
I think the Knicks can beat Philly, so I would
Yeah,
like to
I
see
see.
that.
That's the thing. I think it'd be fun to see Philly versus the Knicks.
Yeah, and that would be good for old school basketball. I mean, a lot of old school fans don't watch anymore, as you know that. But I mean, just the Knicks and Philly, just to get the older school teams in there, it would be. I mean, heck, but Washington Wizards, man, they can pull a first round upset too.
That would be a lot of fun. I'm pulling for Beal, and I don't know. He needs a nickname at this point. Westbrook.
Yeah,
I mean, why does this guy not have a nickname? Come on, really?
he's a freak, man. So like, I might tune into that game a little bit just to watch him. I went the
58
last night.
They had
I went
58 nicknames for Shaquille O'Neal, and he was the most overrated player that I've ever seen. People talked about how great he was. No, he wasn't. You couldn't pass the ball to him when the game was on the line because the guy couldn't hit a free throw to save his life. Especially when you remember when he called himself the big fundamental?
I like his big cactus when he was in Phoenix.
How is not being able to shoot free throws fundamentally sound?
I mean, to quote another armchair quarterback, he only has 4 rings.
Sadly enough, that's not enough in today's world, right? You gotta have at least 3.5 like LeBron.
Right.
Real quick, round by all rounds. Sorry, real quick. The first round, Philly, Washington. Who you got?
Philly.
Same. Lakers, Phoenix. Who you got?
Lakers.
I got Phoenix, baby.
I want Phoenix. I'll be rooting for them.
Atlanta, New York. Who you got?
Got the Knicks.
I got the Knicks too. Celtics, Nets.
Brooklyn.
Same. Portland, Denver.
Denver.
I got Portland. Miami, Milwaukee.
Really don't care. Like I said, but Milwaukee.
Yeah, me too. And Dallas Clippers.
The Clippers.
Me too. All right, so who's in the conference finals and who wins it all?
Man, I want to go with Golden State, man. I can see Steph making an MVP run. But honestly, if Mitchell comes back, I can see Utah and the Lakers, and then Brooklyn. I guess Brooklyn and Philly, man. I guess to be chalk on that side. And I guess I got Brooklyn Lakers, which we won't watch, and Brooklyn wins it all.
All right, I'm gonna go in the West. I'm going to go. See, they're not doing reseeding this year, right?
I could not find that anywhere, so I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. So I'm definitely taking the Suns as the 2 seed to get to the conference finals.
Right.
And so I don't have it in front of me. I only have the series in front of me. Are the Clippers the 3 seed?
Clippers are the 4.
So the 3 is
Denver, Portland. Denver's 3.
Oh, Denver's 3. Okay. So Clippers are the 4. I'll take the Clippers and the Suns in the West, and I'll say Clippers win that. I'm really pulling for the Suns, but it's not going to happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's not smart for me to put that out there. So I'll take the Brooklyn as they are the 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
So the 4.
They would play the winner, Milwaukee, Miami.
No, they're going to play the Knicks.
Well, not per this schedule.
I'm talking about for the conference finals.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
because the 1 seed is going to play the 4-5 winner. And I think the Knicks are going to win. They're going to play up against Philly, and I think they're going to beat Philly. So you can get Brooklyn and the Knicks. I think Brooklyn's going to be a little too much for them, but how fun would that be for New York City to have those two going up against each other? So it's Brooklyn versus the Clippers. Unfortunately, I got Brooklyn winning it too. I don't know if I'll watch that. I don't know. I don't have anything against the Clippers. They just don't intrigue me. PG-13 just kind of turns me off a little bit.
He does me too. And I was thinking about it, man. A couple of years ago, I'm like, if you had Kawhi Leonard, I was rooting for you. I'm like, man, that guy can lead a team to anywhere.
I was pulling for him last year.
And now I just don't see it.
No, I feel like the team is taking on the PG-13 and not the Kawhi Leonard persona. And so anyways, I really hope it ends up being the Suns, because I think they're a fun story. Just we don't know what they're going to do in a playoff series, so I could see them crumbling against the Lakers. But
I hope I'm wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing Utah win it, but there again, I think I want to see Golden State. So I'm pulling for Golden State. That's who I would like to win it. Boston has no chance. Golden State.
Boston shouldn't even be in the playoffs.
No.
If Brown gets hurt beginning of the year, this Boston team doesn't go to the playoffs. The only thing that could come from this is that if they do win a couple of games and Tatum grows up, I said this yesterday, he at some point has got to understand that if he's going to be the man that he thinks he is, when the game is on the line, he's got to put his damn shoulder down and be more like LeBron. I hate to say that. He's got to put his shoulder down and drive the paint and say, you can't stop me. And if you do, you're going to have to foul me and send me to the line, right? And quit. He's every time the game's on the line, I see him settling for a fadeaway three.
Well, I mean, remember last time he took the ball and drove to the hole in the playoffs, he got stuffed.
But that's how you have to grow up. You have to, because you're doing the defense a favor by settling for a fadeaway three.
Correct.
It's just, there's certain things about basketball that hasn't changed, and that has not changed, is the fact that if you can drive the lane and draw the foul at the end of the game, that's how you win championships. That's how LeBron has been as good as he is. He's a big guy and he's agile, and you have to basically stop that diesel truck from coming through the lane, right? You'd be doing them, same thing with Jordan, same thing with all of them, all the greats. You do them a favor if you go, I'm just going to go ahead and fade. The guy's like almost 7 feet tall and he's fading away. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? All right, it's time to turn back time and get the hell out of here. This is, I'm just telling you, man, if Jason Tatum does not come off to me as the leader of that team until he learns to drive the hole and says, yes, I got the foul. Yes, I want to go to the line. Right.
Well, the leader of that team is Marcus Smart.
That's an issue. All right. All right. On this date in 1986, as we turn back time, Rafael Ramirez hits 4 doubles in 7 trips to the plate. The infielders quartet of 2 baggers helps the Braves edge the Cubs in 13 innings, 9-8. The only reason why this is like a big thing is, first of all, the double has been devalued in baseball. 4 in 1 game, and Rafael Ramirez was one of my childhood heroes until I grew up and realized, he really wasn't that good. He's just the starting shortstop on the Braves, and I played shortstop a little bit. I'm not gonna say he was not that good. Also on this date in 1979, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Rangers 4-1 for a 4-1 series win for the Stanley Cup titles. That was 4 consecutive titles for the Canadiens, and that was followed by the Islanders 4 consecutive championships. And on this date in 1981, the Islanders win their second of back-to-back. So you had 8 years in the NHL where it was the Canadiens for 4 and the Islanders for 4. That probably wasn't good for the sport. But anyways, birthdays. By the way, for people who don't follow it, the Montreal Canadiens are like the New York Yankees of hockey. They have like a ridiculous amount of Stanley Cup titles. Of course, a lot of them they won. I always put asterisks by them because a lot of them they won was like 6 teams in the league. Happy birthday to Dorsey Levens, 51 years young. Dorsey Levens, Green Bay Packer, Super Bowl champion. I'll always remember him for a trade that was made in our fantasy league years ago. This goes back to the old school stuff. This is before you had the apps and the computers to pick up players. This is mid 90s. And Sean, who's on the show on Wednesdays, he makes a trade with this guy, Jason, who was a bartender with me. And he trades, forget who he traded, but he traded Sean trades for Dorsey Levens, because back then the only way to know what was really going on, you had to have watched Sports Center, right? He missed the report that Dorsey Levens had broken his leg. And Jason was just trying to trade him to get rid of him, and he trades him for someone who wasn't great, just decent. And so one of those, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Sean doesn't check anything. He goes, yeah. And so what they had to do was they had to call me, or because text wasn't a thing by then. So they had to call me on my cell, and I had a little ledger that I kept with me at all times, a little small little pocket thing. And if someone made a trade or a pickup, I had to write it down. And then that person also had to go and call the second person as well, or I had to call a second guy in our league, because it would verify that he didn't get a phone call. So there were 2 guys that you had to call for the pickups, and we had to verify that. In other words, I'm going to pick up Bill Smith. I call Brad and say, hey, Sean wants to pick up Bill Smith. Man, Billy just picked him up, right? So that was our only way to have a checks and balances. And so when I called Brad to tell him about the trade, he started laughing because he broke his leg. I said, man, there's nothing in our rule says you can't trade an injured player. And Sean jumped the gun and just wanted him and didn't think about if it's too good to be true. It probably is, because Dorsey Levens that year was a top 5 fantasy pick. And he breaks his leg. And I mean, the rest is history. And of course, everybody knows the whole Jake Plummer story with Sean. Sean will be at the draft up in Nashville. Ricky Williams is also 44 today. Running back out of Texas. Seems like you ought to be older than that. What's your walk-off for the day?
Looking forward to Preds are in Nashville tonight, so looking forward to game 3. They've played like crap 1 and 2.
Have you been watching that?
I've been watching. Man, I've watched the game 1 and 2. It's been rough. It's been hard to watch, especially game 2. That was just bad hockey.
I think you're in for a rude awakening, because they're. I hope they get a W, but Nashville very well could get swept.
It's hard to win in Nashville, man. I don't know how many fans are letting in, but it was nice to see, like, the Carolina. They had every fan in the stadium the other night. So if Nashville has their fans, it's gonna be hard to beat them.
The problem with Nashville is they just don't get enough pressure on the goal, and they don't cause enough havoc to keep up with the scoring at Carolina. So I think that's going to be the biggest issue. I hope they win, because I want them to win at least one game for the fans. I don't think there's much of a chance of them winning the series, because to beat Carolina, who's played phenomenally all year long, you'd have to beat them 4 out of the next 5 games. I mean, that's a little unrealistic. But I would like to see them. I mean, hell, you never know. The goalie gets injured or something. You never know. But my walk-off.
Go Golden State.
My walk-off of the day. You got the PGA Championship this weekend. You've got obviously Major League Baseball going on. You've got the NBA playoffs starting. You got the NHL playoffs going. And we've also got the women's college softball tournament starting today. There's a lot of sports going on, and you're going to have to just kind of pick and choose what you choose to follow. I will be watching the softball tournament. The men's baseball starts next week. But I'm hoping for at least 2 big names down the stretch for the PGA Championship on Sunday. Because if not,
you'll get there.
If not, I'm going to be actually watching the NBA. Go Suns, baby. We'll see you next Friday, sir.
Later, in.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.